Alright guys, welcome back. What we have here is clutch number 25 of the year. And this was my black axanthic project male, bred to this beautiful cinnamon, possible mahogany female. I don't really think she's mahogany, but she could be. She's gorgeous, has really cool colorations. Looks like she laid 6 good eggs here and some really weird looking kind of slugs, which I'll show you because I've never actually seen them like that before. But the other 6 look good. So I'm going to weigh her real fast, get her out of the way, and then talk about these very strange looking eggs. Alright, so this female is actually a mouser, which is crazy because she actually put on a decent amount of weight over the course of the year and a half that I had her. To the point where she laid 6 eggs, they were 680 grams total, and she's still 1,500 grams. So she was over 2,100 grams even being a mouser. So, having a mouser isn't necessarily a bad thing. You just need to have a lot of mice that you can feed to that snake. I'm hoping now that I'm doing ASFs in larger quantity that she'll actually move over to that because she's a very pretty snake. I have 2 female cinnamon pieds, and I think I'm in the process of maybe selling the one. So I don't want a ton of high white pies. I want to try to get out of those projects and get more of the high pattern ones. So this project, what I'm looking to do is actually introduce cinnamon, and if she ends up being mahogany, into my black-head leopard Mojave triple het black axanthic hypopide project. So I'm trying to see if I can make those snakes darker. If you haven't seen the video, check it out from last month where I showcased my hypopides, that clutch from that male. And I ended up hitting, I think, actually all 4 of the snakes were black-head leopard Mojave pides. 2 of them were hypos as well. But the ones that were not hypo were like black, and the heads were very black. So, but there was still some gold color towards the back in some of the saddles. So I'm hoping that getting this male into this female and getting cinnamon in there as well can really make those colors even darker. So there are 6 really big good eggs here. I'm assuming that they'll all candle fine once I get to that. But I wanted to show you these 2, it looks like I guess 2 weird, very strange slugs. I've never actually seen them come out like this. Out of the hundreds of eggs that I've produced at this point, I've never seen slugs come out like this. So it looks like it was 2 individual eggs, and they're still actually connected here. And they're very gooey as well, so that's strange. So it looks like I guess she must have had 8 eggs that were developing, and these 2 obviously weren't fertilized. But they're really weird. I mean, they feel, well, this one looks like it maybe popped or something. Yeah, because the egg is coming out of the inside. So maybe that's why everything was so gooey. But very strange. I've never actually seen them come out like this. They're usually kind of like individualized slugs. But these are definitely a unique curiosity sort of thing. Very, very strange that they actually came out like that. I wanted to turn off the blinding light so I can actually candle these while I finish talking about this clutch. So yeah, I mean, it's trying to work in some dark genes into that project. And if I make some cool looking pieds in the meantime, that's the goal of it. I mean, I don't think you can ever have enough, too many pied females if they're genetically diverse. A few years back, I did the whole thing of, trying to just reinvest in recessives, and I went more pied heavy than anything else, and which was the right thinking, but I still went too hard into buying too many of the same thing because females were hard to come by, back in 2021, adults, I should say. So I basically got what I could, and a lot of that was like pastel, or plain pied, or pastel leopard, or pastel cinnamon, which is pewter. And I didn't have a lot of diversity, and I was able to eventually get a few orange dream females, and I got 2 or 3 of those. Which is fine, but they were all one or two genes, and they all had pastel, which isn't a negative in pied in my opinion, but they were only pastel, or only pastel is one of their gene. So as I'm breeding this season, my whole goal was to just get a lot of genetic diversity, bring in a lot of new genes to these projects, so that, in a year or two, or I guess I should say 2 years, these females are ready to go and they have new genes that I can introduce into new projects. So if I get 1 or 2 females out of here that are black-head leopard, Mojave, cinnamon, possibly mahogany, and I have 3 or 4 or 5 gene female pieds that are also pos, het, hypo, and black axanthic, that's going to be a lot that I can work into other projects. If I breed that to a clown pied or a DG pied, then I'm able to make pied het DGs that have black-head leopard, Mojave, cinnamon, possibly mahogany. That's pretty cool, and that really takes your projects a lot further down the line. So there's definitely still a place in your projects to have animals that are, especially females, I would say, I would err on the side of caution and say probably females only, that are only one single recessive, that have lots of codoms in them, lots of incomplete dominant genes in them. So if you have a pied or a clown that has 3, 4, 5 genes, that's very powerful still. If it's a male, not as much. Most of your males at this point, you should be trying to get 2 recessives in there, 3 recessives in there, even if they're only pos hets, because those males need to do like the legwork of spreading out those recessive genes. So, this female, she's going to be extremely powerful. Assuming I get some good luck in this clutch. I'm not even guaranteed to hit any pieds. These are all going to be, half of them should turn out to be pieds. So far, all these eggs look good. So I can only hope that I hit good odds with hitting the pieds here. If I do, then, hopefully I also hit all of those extra genes that I'm looking for. But these eggs are really big. Like I said, there's this one. Let's see. I don't know if this one's going to make it. It was sort of the weird one. There's veins in it, but they're not strong. It was sort of the weird one. She actually kicked it out. It wasn't in with all the other ones. So I'm actually wondering if what happened was she laid the first 5. And maybe somehow this one came out last, and then the slugs, I don't know. But it's powerful. It's potentially very good for my future projects, because if I do get a very powerful pied out of this clutch, I can still test it for hypo, and I can hope that it turns out to be het black axanthic. If not, I'll be able to breed it at some point as well, because I'm going to be producing a decent amount of black axanthic stuff this season. So really cool, really excited about it. These will not actually hatch until I think around the end of November, beginning of December. So, these will be a long way off. I actually have another clutch that was due 2 days before this one that hasn't been laid yet, which is back into the Super Orange Dream project. I haven't been getting very good odds in that. I've had like 16 eggs so far. I've only hit 2 females out of those clutches that were things that I wanted to actually hold back. And I was, again, trying to, with those clutches, just create females that were genetic powerhouses that were pied, so that they can replace the single gene Orange Dream females I have, Orange Dream pied females I have. So it's all about building, right? It's all about making sure that every single year what you're doing is trying to advance your projects and advance your collection, because you can't buy everything. So if this year I went in having 2 OD pies and 1 ODYB fire pied female, by the time I'm done breeding them this year and hatching them and raising these up, I'm actually going to have 2 super OD yellow belly Enchi leopard fire pieds that I'm raising up instead, which are just serious killer snakes that I'll be holding on to and hopefully breeding in 2 years. And then at that point, those OD pied females I have, the way that I'm trying to work my collection, I'll probably end up selling them. Somebody else can get good use out of them. They're still useful to people, but not to me, because my collection will keep, taking steps up further and further and further. So that's what this clutch is going to do here. I don't want to be breeding cinnamon pieds anymore in 2 years. I want to be breeding black-head leopard Mojave cinnamon pieds that are possible mahogany and pos het, hypo, and black axanthic. So that's where this clutch is going. let's keep our fingers crossed that we hit, the perfect odds of getting 3 pieds out of this, hopefully more. And I should be producing some really dark looking pied snakes in this clutch. So, it's this will be an after Thanksgiving present and maybe early Christmas. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we get some really good odds here.